All right, that should be good. Hopefully, I don't know if my audio is working, but I'll figure it out right now. If not, we're gonna use these headphones. Hopefully, one of the two will work. All right, I don't see it happening, so I think I'm just going to go with this is not working. And I'm gonna have to connect to these headphones now. So how do I pair them? Sorry. Let's see. Okay. More Bluetooth settings. Add device, Bluetooth. I think that's it. These are the ones. Hello. Bluetooth connected, but I don't see any signal here. Is it sending the signal? Hopefully it is. Hello, can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Oh, perfect. Awesome. That's great. Just still don't see any levels currently. Um, but hello, everyone. I'm really excited to talk to you today about the Light Phone 2 and the Light Phone 3 and a little bit of like how the future is going to look. A lot of people, a lot of people are going to be, talking about it over the next few days. But I'm just like really excited to talk about the release, the price, current price, and future price. So let's get over it. Let's see if I can share my screen. Currently using just a laptop that I brought. I'm in a trip with my wife in a different country. We're visiting family. Currently in Nicaragua, and I'm really excited. I also have some updates to share on the Light Phone 2 somewhere. It's over there. It's charging. Um, Light Phone 2 in Nicaragua, but that's for those of you who want to be in Central America. I want to use it. I was in Costa Rica a few days ago, and it works there as well. But I'll probably delete this video just because it's kind of like a discussion and reaction. But if you guys have any specific questions about it, I'm here to answer those questions. And I know the audio is not that great, and all the good stuff. But let's go over it. Yeah, just talk about it. I hope you guys can see this. So we have the Light Phone 3. This is the Light Phone 2, of course. This is the Light Phone 3. It's different. It does lose some functionality, but it gains a ton of other functionality that we need to talk about because it's going to be a lot of people, a lot of interesting things are going to be coming in. Next week, we're going to have Joe. Probably on Friday. I get back on Thursday next week to the United States. So I'll be kind of like talking about it with him, about some of that. So the Light Phone 3, let's get over. Let's go over the kind of like spec sheet and everything, right? So it's right now it is $399. This is a quote unquote special price. The price right there, the $799, it's actually real. Like it's actually real. So it's going to be very expensive if you don't buy it during the introductory price. It's not like a gimmick or anything like that. It is costing them more, probably. I believe it's going to come down eventually, of course, like the Light Phone 2 did, right? Like at the beginning, the Light Phone 2 was like $350, right? And then it came down to 299 and kind of stay there. Light Phone 2 is probably still going to be in that range, but it's going to be a significant difference in price still. And the reason why is because they're not doing away with the Light Phone 2. So the Light Phone 2 is still going to be sold and the Light Phone 2 is still going to get updates. So you kind of have to find a way to go over those updates and go over that information and that stuff, right? So phones will be delivered chronologically, so that's very important. If you pre-order, this is one device. It's not two devices like the Light Phone 2. Remember that one had both an international version and a North American version. This is one device for the whole world. So let's go over that first part. Is amazing. So if you have a Light Phone 3, right, this is how it looks. Has the camera, right? And where will you use it? So let's say United States. If you're going to use it in the United States, these are all the bands. So if you want to check over like what the bands are, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B7, B8, B12, B13, B14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. I mean, like the expansion, 66 and 71, which is important for rural areas in the United States. And then a bunch of other 5G bands as well that you're going to have access to. pretty sure they're future proofing it for VoNR, which is voice over new radio. I believe that's the terminology. So they're going to be working on that. And since it has so many bands, like, now you're able to have one phone for the whole world. Now, again, they've been listening to a lot of the feedback and stuff like that. So let's go over the United Kingdom right there as well. As you see, it's going to have better compatibility. It's going to have a better experience overall. It's going to have like that right there. So again, same bands for the whole world. Full phone specifications. Let's go over some pictures. So it does have a knob. It does have a camera. It does have some screws. If I recall correctly, is going to be a user replaceable battery. I haven't gotten confirmation though, so kind of stay with this. It does have the middle button. It does have a camera button. It does have the other two buttons for the volume rockers, but it does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is a little bit of a bummer, and we're going to kind of like miss that. And that's why, like, there's a differentiator, right? So like, you have the USB-C, so that's going to be coming. Let's go to over the full phone specifications. And again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I don't even know how it's working and stuff like that. So this is iPhone 3, the wheel for extra functionality. Again, they're working on some extra tools eventually, right? Like, they're going to release, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. So camera and sensors, power button with a fingerprint, speaker, volume up, menu, volume down, two-step shutter button, loudspeaker, microphone, USB-C on the back, flashlight and camera, battery cover and screws. And again, you probably will be able to take them off. We're just waiting for some of that extra stuff. These are the dimensions. Still a small phone. So it's like, that's something that they're prioritizing. They're prioritizing it remaining small, right? Not having like a massive phone. And not having all of that kind of stuff in there that makes it a little bit more difficult to do certain things. Like if you have a massive phone, I've been here in Nicaragua, and when I left my country 14, 15 years ago, we had very basic phones, dumb phones. That was like the norm. And now it's like all smartphones. Like everybody has smartphones here, and it's kind of like shocking to me, because I'm like, when I left, like we used to have basic phones, and a lot of people listen to the thing about the global South not having access to a lot of technology, but everybody in the streets, they have smartphones and WhatsApp. And the light phone is not going to have that. Well, it may have other tools that may help you in that, but it's not going to have like everything one by one. Sorry. Okay, next thing is network 5G display 3.92. Again, a very small display still. Matte glass, AMOLED screen. Then you have USB-C, the camera, nano SIM, and eSIM, which is going to be helpful for those of you transitioning from smartphones. 128 gigs of memory. Again, they're listening to you on the music front. If you remember, the iPhone 2 only have 1 gig of memory, right? So again, it's kind of like, hey, they're listening right to the feedback. 6 gigs of RAM, way more than the 1 gig of RAM that we have on the iPhone 2 right now. It's going to be smoother. 1800 milliamp hour battery. This is the area where I wish they fit it a little bit more, but the phone is a little bit thicker than the iPhone 2 already, and I know that it's probably going to be better this way. Plus, they have optimized a lot of the chipset, so they're going to be using the Qualcomm Snapdragon 4450, which is a good energy chipset, and it's going to have better band support, which is going to give it a better battery life because it's going to be using very little power. Now, a few things that are very important. The GPS is going to be fully fledged, right? Like, so it has a full-fledged GPS, Bluetooth 5.0, and NFC. Right now, there are no tools that use the NFC functionality. There are no tools that use the NFC functionality, but there will be tools that will use NFC functionality in the near future. IP54 rating, which is kind of like splash resistant, something like that. Okay, so let's go back to the phone. It's going to be like very squarish, like, very nice still. And it's kind of like a DAP. So let me show you a different, cancel that. So let me show you something that I've been looking into that looks like the iPhone 2, and probably, they may be using different parts and manufacturers and like, kind of like that kind of stuff. So if the Hibi R3, if you look at the Hibi or the Hibi M300, that's what it's called. the Heavy M300. It's kind of like a similar. This one's longer, of course, but like it's kind of like that form factor, if you will. Oh, actually, here it is, the R3. This is the one. So let's go over share and Amazon, and again for the all the stuff, right? Like, so see it right here. This is the Hibby M300, and it has like a crown right there with the volume buttons. Of course, it's a little bit different, but it's kind of like that squarish look. That's how it's going to look roughly, right? So the Hibby R3 is kind of like the way it's going to look. Now, let's go over the video. Let me show you guys the video that they released. Yeah, perfect. So also a trick, if you don't have your history turned on, YouTube will not recommend you any videos, which may be something that you want to do. So, just kind of like a thing there. If you knew that, it's quite important. Light phone 3. Oh, look, what do you know? I'm streaming and it's telling you that you should watch that video right there, the live. Let's go over the upload date. Probably the video is going to be out there. That's right. There you go. 315. Okay, so let's watch this just a little bit as a reaction. Maybe I can expand it a little bit in theater mode so you guys can watch the video. You guys, of course, can go watch it on youtube.com, right?
There are so many things that the Light Phone 3.
This is a voiceover over with Joe, and he says, I don't know if I'm sharing the audio. Let me share the audio of the, yes. Okay, perfect. So let's go back and you guys can listen to it.
There are so many things that the Light Phone 3 just cannot do. Can't post on social media. Can't send an email. Can't get you lost in some infinite feed. Can't steal your data and then sell it. Can't compete with your daughter for attention or interrupt your train of thought. Can't remind you that you're somehow missing out. What it can do is give you the essentials for every day. It can connect you with those who matter most. It gives you the space you need to take your passion seriously. Helps get you where you need to go. And now, it's also a camera. Introducing the Light Phone 3. A tool for a better life. Now available for pre-order.
Great video. I really, can't see your screen, it says. I assume. Oh, okay, cool. I think maybe YouTube does things with the video. I don't know, but I'll put the link so you guys can have it, of course. I'll be making a video about this phone, of course, and I don't know why, but you guys couldn't see it for some reason. So sorry about that. Let me see if we can you guys see it now? Oh, okay, does it show? Or maybe it's because it's in like a, yeah. Let's go. It's there now. Okay, perfect. You guys can see it again. Maybe.
There are so many things that the Light Phone 3 just cannot do. Can't post on social media. Can't send an email. Can't get you lost in some infinite feed. Can't steal your data and then sell it. Can't compete with your daughter for attention or interrupt your train of thought. Can't remind you that you're somehow missing out. What it can do is give you the essentials for every day. It can connect you with those who matter most. It gives you the space you need to take your passion seriously. Helps get you where you need to go.
I love this thing.
And now,
I love the
it's also a camera. Introducing the Light Phone 3. a tool for a better life. Now available for pre-order.
Now available for pre-order. I don't know if you guys see it. You guys saw it. Hopefully, so a lot of good things are coming. You saw the screen refresh rate is like way better, right? Like it's just more robust. If you want to pre-order, you want to support the channel. Um, so you can use that link. You can also go to the main thing and like this stuff like that. So a couple things that you guys need to know that I've talked with Joe before about this. Like, don't talk every day to him about it, but we have chatted, and there is a demo next week. Hopefully, we're still confirming the time. I'm getting back to the States, and he has stuff to do with this massive release right now. But I want to talk a little bit about the Light Phone 3 differences versus the Light Phone 2. So if you want e-ink, it's going to be the Light Phone 2, right? So if you prioritize e-ink, if that's something that's really important to you, that's why they're keeping the Light Phone 2. A few reasons why they went with the AMOLED screen. I know that they looked into e-ink, they looked into the RLCD, they looked into different technologies, but they went with the AMOLED because it's like the blacks are truly black on the screens, and then it reproduces better for this form factor. On top of that, they also another reason is because of the responsiveness, right? So like a lot of people kind of complain about the responsiveness of the of the phone and the Light Phone 2. So this is a more mass market appeal phone that has more functions. But I think that personally, this is my opinion, that because of how the phone is made and the operating system is made, and it's still, it's not inviting you for all of the apps and all of the stuff, that is going to be a great phone and a great device just to kind of like go over. So I personally think that you guys are going to love it, and you guys are going to love how it works, how snappy it is, and it's not inviting still because it still has the same operating system. And this is a very good point to talk about that operating system, is that the operating system remains the same, and they're going to be developing the same operating system. So whatever update the Light Phone 3 gets that is not hardware restricted, the Light Phone 2 will also get. So this is something that is going to be, for those of you who have the Light Phone 2, and maybe you don't want to get the Light Phone 3 right away, is that the Light Phone 2 is going to remain updated. Or maybe you're going to get the Light Phone 2 for whatever reason. Maybe you want the headphone jack. Maybe you want maybe you want kind of like the e-ink screen. You kind of want that functionality. You want even a more simpler phone, and you don't want all of the new tools that are going to be coming, or at least enabled by the camera or enabled by the NFC chip. Then again, I think that it's going to be very, very easy to do that. So if you want to keep your Light Phone 2, keep your Light Phone 2. It's not going to be an issue. If you don't want to keep it, that's okay too, because it's going to be kind of like still a very good phone. So again, still going to remain updated, which is something that a lot of people were maybe afraid, maybe ideas and that kind of stuff, right? So I definitely think it's a great investment at $399, and there's going to be a gap in the pricing. Let me repeat that. I'm not trying to like make you pre-order the phone, but I'm just being very honest with you that there will be a gap in the pricing. So after the pre-order period, after the special pricing period, there will be a gap in the pricing. I don't know if they're going to keep it at the exact level of $799, but there will be a gap because they are not abandoning the Light Phone 2. It's like kind of, okay, like I'm just going to give a comparison. Of course, completely different companies, but you have Apple, and then you have, when they release a new phone, they still keep the old one, and they may be discounted at like $100 or something like that. But that's it. The gap is still going to be there because it's completely different, right? Like, it's completely different. Good question. Okay, you guys have a couple questions like right here. Let me answer some of those. Also, thank you for watching this. Thank you for always supporting the channel. I'm always trying to bring you good ideas and stuff like that, and of course the latest and greatest news. So question, what functionality does it lose? The main functionality it's going to lose is like hardware. So the headphone jack is not there. So that's one thing that you're going to lose. And also the e-ink, right? So we're going from an e-ink screen, we're going to an AMOLED screen. Camera, yes, it does have a camera. It's going to take good pictures. Basic pictures, don't expect it to beat anything, but it's going to be pretty good, right? Okay. Let's see, continue. Where's the ink? Again, they're transitioning. It's going to be a different phone. They just want the responsiveness to feel faster. But the OS is still the same. It's just that it's going to look faster, right? Let's see. Brave Star says, do you pre-order? Yep, I did pre-order. Like I always say, I always buy the phones I review so I can give you a honest idea, an honest idea of like, what's happening. Okay. Let's see. Millerite asks, how long have you actually known about this, Jose? I've known bits and pieces throughout, so I haven't seen the device. Today, I'm seeing the device at the same time that you're seeing the device. I did not get to see it before. It wasn't like something that, oh yeah, I've seen it for like years. No. Like Joe has been telling me every time we do a live stream, we do a catch up, either before or like after. Sometimes I text Joe, and like we have had conversations every here and there, just little pockets. So because of that, I've had the opportunity, to talk to Joe about it. And first it's like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna have an NFC chip. So he dropped hints here and there about what it was going to look like, or what they were prioritizing, but I never saw it. So I never saw the device. And then last week or so, he sent me a text and he said like, hey, let's do a live stream soon. And I knew like right there, I knew like, okay, it's a iPhone 3. We're going to talk about it. Cause like, usually we schedule the live streams, pretty far apart. And he was like, kind of like, oh, hey, we should do one. So I was like, okay, they're going to come out with it. He said, yeah, we'll talk about that. And, he asked me, of course, to keep it under wraps, that they were going to release these promos and stuff like that. And I mean, now I don't have to because, it's great. So as of last week, I knew a lot of the extra details, but they've been listening, guys, like, and that's something that I love about this company, is that they listen to what's going on. Okay. No case to order. No, not yet, but it's going to come, there's going to be some extra things. And also from other companies, other companies will be coming out with their cases. So, that's kind of stuff. Okay. Luca says, do you know how eSIM transferring from iPhone other phones will work? That's an issue I had going from newer iPhone without SIM in the US to the LP2. Yes. So whenever you transfer from eSIM device to another eSIM device, you go to your company's portal. And after you go to your company's portal, you enter the IMEI and the eSIM number, and then that's it. And then it kind of like magically happens over the phone. Of course, it has a physical SIM if you want to insert a physical SIM, but it's also going to have that ability, which that kind of stuff, right? Okay, let's see more questions. See, I think all the work the team has done with the OS and LP12 was able to do. So yes, absolutely. So the LP3 is going to be even more solid because, again, it's going to allow you to have that capability, that idea, or that, like overall everything is just going to be, it's going to be a good phone because it's going to be faster. It has more RAM. They've been testing a lot of these things, and it's just going to feel more responsive. Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, I will be doing a giveaway of this phone before July 15th because the special pricing, and I want at least 2 more people to have a Light Phone 2. So stay tuned to that. Probably we will have it whenever we come back to the States and have the live stream. On the day of the live stream, I'll probably give away 2 phones. So stay tuned to that. There'll be a link and maybe a couple days, extra of like, grace for people that watch the live stream afterwards. So yeah, that's kind of like something that stay on the lookout for that, just because I think it's important, Okay, let's go over one more thing the page. I'm going to show you some other things, and I believe this will confirm some of the concerns with repairability, right? Like, that's something that's important for a lot of people. Let me see, where is my, yep, there it is. Okay, there. Okay, so this is the iPhone 3. This is just a picture of it. This is the video that we just watched. A tool for better life, introducing iPhone 3, a phone designed to give you the tools to flourish in the most thoughtful and intentional way. We know how difficult it can be to go against the grain of a culture that seems ready to make to distract you. That's why we created the iPhone 3, making it easier to go light. So it's easier, continuing easier. They have future-proof it, USB-C, fingerprint, flashlight, 5G, NFC chip, and a clickable wheel. We'll talk about the clickable wheel probably on the live stream, kind of like give you some examples and stuff like that in a demo from Joe. Then you have, of course, the full spec, offering a single model, more compatible internationally. Made to last. Yes. Do we really need a new smartphone every single year? No. Can our phones last 5 years, 10 years? Well, planned obsolescence remains an outrage to us. With software, we will continue to support our products as long as we can. And now we're working to improve the repairability with an accessible battery and easier to replace screen and USB port. So as you see right there, it comes out. It does have the ability to replace the battery. The iPhone 2 uses Sony Sorplast recycled plastic for the battery cover and speaker grill. So again, it's going to be easier to tinker with the iPhone 2 and ideas. This is a little bit of an example of the notes, kind of like notes tool and the messaging tool, so if you're going to message somebody, this is kind of like the layout, very similar to what you look right now on the iPhone 2, but again, it's just a little different too. Unlocked phone, of course, and another video here, maybe a placeholder. No, it's power button, fingerprint, wheel, adjust brightness. So if you need some extra brightness, of course, you're going to be changing a lot of those things. That wheel is going to become more and more useful over time. Let's just put it that way. So it's going to have different functionalities. But right now, the wheel adjusts the brightness. So if you want to adjust your brightness, it's right there. Then again, camera, wheel also for flashlight, replaceable battery, and better repairability screens and stuff like that, which is what a lot of you asked, which is something that's very important. And a lot of little different things. So Light 3 right there, little video. The speaker grill provides a depth to allow for optimal acoustics. It boasts a large economic metal buttons, including a dedicated 2-step camera shutter, half press to focus, full press snap photo, always easy to access. GPS, I do not see is going to be an issue. Custom matte display, so it's not going to be, kind of shiny, glossy. It's going to be a better experience. Light OS, same tools as you already have, and essentially what you want to do. More pictures, repairability, honest pricing, stuff like that, right? And then you have a couple of frequently asked questions. Is the iPhone repairable? We're still working on the details. We designed the Light 3 to be little typo right there, to be able to offer at least screen and USB port replacement and service battery replacement options, both for purchase and as a service. What about the iPhone 2? We have no plans to stop producing or supporting the iPhone 2, just kind of like, stuff like that. iPhone 2 trade-in. Honestly, we do not have yet plans to accept trade-ins for the iPhone 2, as we didn't consider that a direct replacement of that model. We're not sure logistically how we could support such a trade-in model at the moment, but we have heard the interest and will investigate what we might be able to do in the future. We've talked with Joe about this, and again, the iPhone 3 is kind of like a different segment than the iPhone 2, but they're going to try to do something. I believe, they've been listening to you guys saying like, well, what if I just bought it, a few months ago, or that kind of stuff. It's kind of like important that you think about that. Okay, more things. iPhone 3, first prototypes, introducing the iPhone 3 design manifesto. You can look in here, more information if you want to understand how it kind of like came to the process, all that good stuff. As you see there, I hope this alleviates some maybe new things that will happen. These are the details that, again, I know about them, but you may not be like looking into everything, right? But as you see right there, it will support many more languages, right? Um, and right there you have an example of how it will display certain other languages. Of course, it's going to take time to translate and to get all of that stuff in there. But it's just like the availability and the storage and everything is just going to allow it. Here you have more pictures, timeline, etc. And mass manufacture is around December, so January you're going to be seeing it. Okay, I'm going to put this link out there, probably the previous one for the blog, so you guys can go read, a little bit more about how it all works out. Okay, let's go. Continue. Okay, I only have an hour because we're visiting family and friends, so just wanted to talk about this and answer a couple questions if you guys had any. Okay, any photo examples taken on the camera coming out? Okay, Tia. I'm at my aunt's house. Um, she's like letting me use the Wi-Fi in that computer. This is just funny to me. Okay. Why do people want dumb phones only to want them to do things that smartphones do? That's a good question, Robert. I think that a lot of people, they need one or two tools that smartphones have, but they don't want the distractions. So a lot of people, like for example, here in Nicaragua, everybody has WhatsApp, right? So if you don't have WhatsApp, it's like you don't exist. Like you cannot communicate effectively. And if personally, if you're a business person, right, or you're somebody that needs communication on a day-to-day basis for work, for school, for whatever, then you need that smart tool, right? So it makes it easier. It makes it less friction in your life. And a lot of these things are not distracting, right? So for example, something like payments. Let's say, you pay with NFC, or maybe you go to a concert and you have the ticket or whatever. Like, the reality is that these things are not distracting. They're just useful. And people have gotten used to it, right? So that's why people want those extra things. But what they don't want is they don't want a browser. They don't want email. They don't want social media, right? If everybody could just have their perfect phone and design it, and then a company brings it out, then everybody will be designing it and doing different things. But I think that that's one of the reasons. Okay. Will you be able to view your pictures in color, or will they be black and white? Color, no problem. So it does reproduce color without issues. Okay. Anyone know what a 50 megapixel camera looks like? So again, I wouldn't look into the megapixels that much. I don't think that's what you need to be focusing on. So the 50 megapixel camera is just like, it has, it does have that it's good quality, but like focus more on the sensor, and we'll have more information about the actual sensor that they're using so that you can compare, because 50 megapixels doesn't mean really anything as long as you have a bad sensor. So you need a good sensor. I believe they're going to be using a Sony sensor, if I recall correctly. But and like they're yeah. So it's going to look good though. Like let me say that they're working on it and listening to more feedback as it comes, right? So okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. For people in Canada, it will work with Telos and Kudo. It's confirmed on the website. Yes, it is fine. Their certification is actually coming through for the Light Phone 2 as well. So if you want a Light Phone 2, it's going to be there. I'm excited to be able to send and receive photos. I miss that a lot. Yeah, that's true. The dial on the left is kind of like a multi-tool. Would you ask where there was a dial on the left? The dial on the left, like brightness, flashlight, but they're going to be adding other features as they go. So, okay, John, do they have any hope or plan for WhatsApp? It's really necessary in many countries. It's true. Right now, I am in Nicaragua, and literally everybody's just like, what's your WhatsApp? Like, we want to have dinner. We want to go make plans. Like, I'm in my city. So like, people are asking me. So let me talk a little bit about WhatsApp. It probably will not have WhatsApp, but it will have maybe something that will help bridge the gap for a lot of those messaging applications. So as you know, this is something that they're not doing, or developing anything as far as I know. But there are people who are interested in maybe putting something like Beeper on this phone, right? Beeper is an app that it's kind of like a multi-app for everything. I'll probably show you guys Beeper. So Eric, I don't remember his last name, or well, I don't want to pronounce it wrong. So Beeper is an app that has all of the chat apps into one. So instead of trying to develop a specific WhatsApp tool, they may be able to develop something like a Beeper tool, and then you kind of have the same ethos, the same ideas, um, and like Beeper is kind of like what probably, if anything comes to Light Phone, eventually it'll probably be on the Beeper platform. Okay. Will it have rideshare? Okay, this is something that maybe you guys haven't, maybe you guys don't know, but so one of the investors of the Light Phone is a person at Lyft, and I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that they have tried in the past developing a rideshare tool that works with Lyft. I remember in one of the betas, um, long time ago, sometime I don't remember when it was, like maybe a year ago, we saw a beta that had a rideshare tool. But let me be frank, it probably won't work as well on the Light Phone 2 because of the GPS. The GPS was kind of like back and forth. Um, and because of that, it probably didn't work as well. And because it didn't work as well with the Light Phone 2, they probably are not like, very interesting or very interested in developing a tool for that, right? So, but the iPhone 3 will have a better GPS. That's one of the priorities, honestly, that they had. In conversations with George, I remember him saying like, "Yeah, I want the GPS to work better." iPhone 2 GPS has it, but it's not like, good at turn-by-turn directions. Sometimes it messes up. But as far as I know, the iPhone 3 will be better. Again, next week we're gonna get more details from Joe himself. Probably next week or the week after. Like we're trying to finalize the live stream date. But I'll be updating you guys whenever that happens. Okay. So probably it will have rideshare. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe not at release, not at launch, but eventually it will. Most likely, I would bet on it. Will LP3 be like LP2, that there's a US international version? No, one version for the whole world, which is excellent. Spotify, good question. Talked with Joe last time when we did a live stream, and he said that they were exploring a light tool for Spotify. I think they found a way to, circumvent and work it out, um, you know, and that's kind of like how it works. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Um, Sorry, I guess like, black screen. Okay, sorry guys. How can people follow if there's nothing but a black screen? Okay, sorry guys. I don't know. Please tell me next time. I'll okay, let me again, it's one of like, okay, can you see this beeper thing? Can you guys see that? I just kind of need to check. Okay, perfect. So Beeper is an app. Maybe I talked about it before, right? So Beeper is an app that has all apps, and it will allow you to have all of your social networks, or like, just the messaging portion. So nothing of the social network, just the messaging portion, right? And again, I'm sorry, I'm out of the country. I don't have much control over this laptop. It's what I have. So sorry. Ooh. Mm. Allergies here are killing me. Um, so if they have anything, it'll be kind of like that too. Okay. More questions. Let's see. Um, let's see. Spotify, WhatsApp, and whitelist. I don't know what whitelist is, but again, Spotify, they've been looking for a tool like that. And then you have also other, ideas. There's other stuff coming down the line that may be able to work out for you. More tools, more things, more functionality. And this is kind of like, it's going to be, without like saying it, is that it's kind of saying it that, hey, this is going to have certain functions that the iPhone 2 won't, right? So the iPhone 2 can now have a camera, so the camera tool will only be available for the iPhone 3. So it doesn't have a camera. then NFC, if the Light Phone 3 gets an NFC reader plus payments, the Light Phone 2 cannot get that because it doesn't have that. I believe this one has a radio frequency. So if there's a radio tool, for example, there will never be a radio tool on the Light Phone 2 because it's hardware locked. But if it's something that is not hardware locked, then it's going to come to both the Light Phone 2 and the Light Phone 3. Okay, more questions. Let's see. Somebody said the price of these phones is absurd. I had the iPhone 2 on AT&T and returned it within a week. Well, that's okay. It's not for everybody. Let's see. I really want Signal. Okay, how can people? Okay, yeah, sorry, Robert. Let's see. Are the directions feature reliable? On traveling in a foreign country, is the directory reliable? Okay, let me give you some context. So I just traveled from Costa Rica to Nicaragua, and of course from the United States to Costa Rica, right? And I was able to use the tool here. So I was just testing. Of course, everywhere I go, I try to test as many features as possible from the different phones I bring. I brought only two this time: my work phone and my light phone. The Jelly 2 works perfectly. Of course, this is a smartphone. You know, it has more band compatibility. Yada yada yada. The Light Phone 2 also works here in Nicaragua with Claro, and with Costa Rica it works with Colby. The North American version. I only brought a North American version this time, but it works great, and the directions work. So I was able to test, and it kind of locked me up. It took a little longer, you know, maybe like a minute for locking up the GPS. Of course, the Light Phone 3 will be way faster, but the Light Phone 2 still worked. But I think that the directions tool is going to be even more reliable because it has a better GPS and better processor that will help, more RAM. You know, it's going to be faster, snappier. You know, a lot of things, and better band compatibility, which also will translate to better signal to position the geolocation. Okay. Let's see. Light Phone graduated from being a high school or college engineering project to a high quality phone. I agree. It's going to be even better. Let's see. Spotify, WhatsApp. I talked about that. RCS. Good question. They've been working on that. So RCS, they've been working on that, but it's not confirmed because the Light Phone doesn't run Google Play services, and right now it's the only way to get it. So let's just say that they're looking into the options. Last time I knew they're looking into the options. Let's see. Will they have a repair option if there's damage? Yes, they will have a repair option if there's damage. I showcased this, but let's see, guys. Hopefully you guys can see this. Just give me a second. I'm going to get to Light Phone 3, learn more area, and I'm going to share. Can you see this? Let me get to the repairability area. The little video here. Can you see this? I hope so. Can't see. Okay. Let's refresh. Hopefully. Let's play it. Let me split this tab. Maybe that will make it easier for me so that I'm able to catch up on some of this stuff. Okay. Okay. Can you see? Okay, there it is, USB-C. It's turning. And flashlight is kind of giving you like an operation. Replaceable battery right there. And you'll be able to kind of like open it up, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully it's kind of clear. You know, it kind of works. You know, look into it. Okay, cool. Let me see. Yes. Okay, cool. Right there. Right there. If you see, it's going to be able to have access to that replaceability. Yeah, the look is great. Let me just say that. The look is great. It's small. It's kind of like compact. It's definitely thicker than the iPhone 2. Probably by maybe half more. So if you put the iPhone 2 and put another half of the iPhone 2, I think it's roughly how it's going to be. Okay. All right. Let's continue with more questions. Let's see. I've used Tramp before, which you can use to book Ubers. Yes, Tramp is a great service. Actually, I'm just going to showcase that. I've been testing it the last few times that I've been in the United States. Last few weeks, and I think I can put it here. Tramp. So Tramp, Uber, Uber. So this is Need a Quick Ride. Hopefully you guys can see. Let me double check that you can see. I have to be double checking every single time. Can you see? Just double checking. Okay, so no smartphone, no apps, no problem. You can call this number or set up an account, and you can text, like, hey, where I want to go on an Uber, and they will pick you up. So, like Tramp is really great. So there is an official Uber number. So there is an Uber number. I think it's 1-833 use Uber. I feel like 1-833. Let's see, 1-833 use Uber. Yep, that's what it is. So this number is available in the United States. But if you want something easier, or when the number is not working, because I believe it stops working at 10 p.m., you're still able to use Tramp. So Tramp would be a better alternative. And that's something. Color is only going to be coming in black. I feel somebody asked that question. So again, it's only in black for now. So right, screen went black again. Okay, hopefully still coming back. Okay. More questions. MMS support, yes. RCS still in the kind of like looking into it. What is the screen size difference from the LP2? Good question. If I recall correctly, it's about 1/4 of an inch. But let me go to the official things. Let's see. The light phone shop. The specs. Which model is best for me? Oh, look at that. Tells you. Let's see. I don't recall the exact. Okay, so the Light Phone 3 has a screen of 3.92, and the Light Phone 2 is 2.8. So it's about an inch. So it's 1 inch and a little bit. So it's a little bit larger, definitely to accommodate for the people who have larger hands or fingers, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Let's see. Does it still have an e-ink screen? No, it's AMOLED, so it's going to be just kind of like faster. Continue. Will you get a review copy? No. I mean, I probably will get a copy, like a faster copy, I think, like my version. But I'll talk with Joe about it. Like I said, I always buy the phones because I like to purchase them. Number one, thank you for all of your support. That's what allows me to purchase these phones, and maintain the channel, how it is, honest, and, giving you my opinion. So I buy the phones all the time, and then I give you my opinion. I tell you, like, hey, this phone is worth it. Go spend $150. Go spend $40. Go spend $300. I think it's worth it. When the phone is not worth it, I tell you, and because I spend the money, I actually put it there, and then I give the phones away because I believe in giving back. So thank you for allowing me to do that. I really, really appreciate that, because I think we have created a community that thrives in transparency, and a community that thrives in giving our opinions. We may disagree sometimes, but that's okay. We don't have to we don't have to agree on everything, but I think it's important. I think it's important. So, like, to have the transparency, to buy the phones, to review them honestly, and to say, don't buy this or buy this, for my opinion. And if you disagree, that's okay. You can go buy it. Try it out and see if, like, I was right or wrong, and that's good. Um, the screen, the camera is still gonna be it's gonna be color, so it's not gonna be a different. Only one color. Yes. Do they sell this at Radio Shack? I don't even know Radio Shack is still alive. I know it's still alive here in outside of the states, but I don't even think it's alive in the states anymore or in North America. Um, okay, let's see more questions. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Is the wireless emergency alerts on this phone going to the same sound effect as all other phones? I believe so. I believe that's a regulation thing. I believe it's kind of like the same thing. So if you enable the wireless emergency alerts, it's kind of like a thing that you kind of just have to have there. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't forget about the Mudita Compact. Competition is healthy. Yes, good. Okay, so I don't have the a time today to go over some of the other stuff that's coming. I do want to maybe talk about the Mudita Compact. So I believe now in um, July, they're going to be introducing more details about it. Gracias, tia. My aunt brought me some great cookies from Nicaragua, or, like, from the store. So we're gonna be eating this in a few, and also sweets. So when you are with your family in a different country, they just bring you food. They just feed you all the time. Um, she's laughing now. So the Melita Compact is also coming up. We're gonna have a great summer of releases. Let me just talk about that. They're going to have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. They're going to have an e-ink screen. Their screen is probably going to be closer to 4 inches, if I believe, 4.5 inches. And I think I can show you a better forum.budita.com. Can you guys still see? By the way, just double checking. Um, there was one. Yeah, there it is. So this is the compact. A little bit of a better look, I guess. Has the dual SIM. This is how the phone looks. It's a more flat slab looking, of course, a little bit longer, but it's e-ink, and it's going to be pretty simple. And there's more information at the forum.mudita.com. Yeah, so that's just something to think about. All right, all right. So again, good competition, a lot of good stuff happening. There's also other phones coming out, coming soon, and I'll be covering them all. Of course, I'll be covering them throughout. But if you guys have any questions till then, um, it's going to be really, really a good time. Um, yeah. Okay. One more question from Robert. Says, how can this phone have a less expensive plan on the mobile networks than other phones? That's just a preference, honestly. So whether you have the Light Phone 3, a smartphone, or a basic phone, you can just buy a cheap plan if you wanted to. You can go to the Light plan on US Mobile. That's the plan I recommend if you want to spend very little money. Um, Let me share my screen. So the Light plan, um, let's see, share screen, Light Phone, right there. So you can get this plan on a smartphone if you wanted to. You're just going to have 2 gigs of data, which may not be enough for a lot of people. But you can get it for like $8 a month if you pay for the year, or you can get it for $10 a month for 2 gigs of data, which I think it's good enough. And it just kind of depends on what you desire and what you're looking into. Of course, you can also get cheaper plans. I mean, I recommend this plan for $15. I think it's a great plan from US Mobile. You pay $180 for 12 months, $15 per month, and you get 10 gigs of premium data, calling and texting internationally, unlimited data, talk and text, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's just where you shop. I did a video a few days ago, just kind of like a FYI, that you don't have to spend a lot of money on plans, even if you yourself, like, it depends on what you yourself want. Another one is Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is another great company. 15 bucks a month. You pay it every 3 months. Um, and it's just a good plan. It's a good provider, so they give you a lot of that good stuff. They also have family plans, if you want to have multiple lines within one plan. And I mean, like, for 15 bucks a month, they give you 5 gigs, so it's even, it's kind of like a little bit equating to whatever you pay um, on the kind of like on the US mobile side. So, another good company is Tello.com. Whether you have a smartphone, like smartphone, whether you have a basic phone, you can buy a very cheap plan. You don't need all of these, like, big plans. This one you can even make it yourself. Like, let's say you only want 500 minutes of calls and free text, or maybe you talk even less, 300 or 100, or you're like, no minutes. I just want to limit it, or 100 minutes free text, no minutes, just text, but 5 gigs, unlimited minutes, so 2 gigs, right? 1 gig, 500, 300, 100, right there, $6 a month. I mean, $6 a month is great. 5 gigs, $11 a month. Tello is customizable plans. It's very good. Like, I think that you just need to you just need to think, like, hey, what's good for me, and do I really need that much? Um, okay, let's see. Oh, am I out there? Just getting some stuff. Okay, final questions if you guys have into it. Um, let's see. Why are they limited to only a few carriers? Wouldn't the LP3 technically be compatible with all GSM carriers? So I think they haven't tested, like, that's one part. Like, they haven't tested all the things, right? So they haven't tested all the things. So that's a portion of it, right? Like, that's a little bit of it. Um, and then the other part is just like more details are going to come out as they come, and they do further testing into areas that have been used, and kind of stuff like that. My kind of like final thoughts on this matter. We're going into the hour, and again, I need to start visiting family and that kind of stuff. So um, just wanted to chat about with you guys about it, answer some questions. Again, we're gonna have a live stream with Joe next week, most likely on Friday. We're gonna have way more understanding. Make sure that you stay there, stay connected. I'll be giving away 2 of these phones to lucky winners. I'll be getting a form for that day as well, so that you guys have the opportunity. Just want to be able to get back. And yeah, so those kind of things. My biggest bummer. Let me give you my honest feedback. So I think the phone is going to be great. It's going to be a good idea from the light phone to release it now in the summer. Have 6 months pre-order. Make sure that everything gets fine-tuned, that it works like it needs to work. That it kind of like has the effect that it needs to have. So that's something. So that's a little bit. And the bummers for me are no e-ink. So I don't like that personally. I would have preferred e-ink. That's just my opinion. And no headphone jack. So those are 2 big bummers for me. I wish they had kept those, but I understand that they're trying to appeal to a different market, a market that allows them to get into the fast response, get into the critiques that people have had over time, the battery life, the band support, right? Like, oh, it only works in certain carriers and it doesn't work really well. So they fixed that with this responsiveness, NFC, and, like, looking into it. So I personally think that I would love um, um, than kind of like looking into uh, how it all works, right? So, like, I think that personally, I think that what we need to look into is, do they continue listening to the um, like, do they continue listening to the feedback of the community? Do they continue making improvements? Even right now, they're going to get a lot of feedback, right? Like, hey, what happened with the headphone jack? How are you looking into that? Is it possible to still tweak some things? If it's not, that's okay, and like that's kind of like, how it is. But yeah, I will do my best to cover it in the best way possible. Of course, I use a light phone too. I love the company. They have done a great amount of work. But I think they just continue listening, and hopefully next week we get a little bit more details, maybe a demo, looking into it, how it works, versus like up side to side, from Joe. And if you guys have any questions till then, put in a different video, put it on this video. I'll probably keep it up since it was an hour. There's a lot of content that we went through and a lot of ideas that we went through. So hopefully that works out. Thank you for everything, guys. I think it's a great phone. Go pre-order it. If you want to support the channel, you can pre-order it through a link that I have. I do have some affiliate links, so I appreciate that. If not, that's okay. Like, you guys do what you gotta do. If you're not interested, that's okay too. Like, it's not the whole world. You need to find what works for you, what works for your, like a lot of people that need WhatsApp. I'm like, I know the Light Phone 2 looks great. It's an amazing phone, etc., etc. But if you need WhatsApp for your life, hey, go get a Cat S22. Go get a Nokia 6300. Go get something that actually works. I'm gonna put the Dumb Phone Finder out there, so you guys can go look it up if you're new to the channel, and dumbphonefinder.com. So like, if you guys are looking into, kind of